It's 9 minutes past 8 o'clock, 54 degrees now. It looks comfortable, but it looks, hazy. We've still got the stuff in the air. And if you are prone to asthma, take it easy and don't forget your inhaler today. Wall Radio, very happy to be here with two guests with me, one in the studio and one on the phone. We're talking about repair cafes today. And with me on the phone is Suzie Fromer, who's the coordinator for Hudson Valley Repair Cafes. And also Pete Marchetto is here, who handles two different local repair cafes. And we're going to teach you what they are, what they do, and when your next chance is to go get your stuff repaired, right? Good morning, Suzie. Good morning, Pete.
Hello. Good morning.
Hi. Yeah.
Hi,
Thanks so much for having us.
Oh, I'm so glad that you're here. The Repair Cafe is such a great movement. I got involved with it before COVID, just in time to have it shut down for a few years.
Yes.
And now, how many are there across the Hudson Valley?
There are 45. And when we say Hudson Valley, because that's what we're called, it's also Catskills and Capital Region, but we have 45 that we coordinate with.
It is actually, it's actually international. It began.
It is an international, yeah.
It began in Europe, and it's a great idea. People take their broken stuff that you just didn't have the heart to throw away because you love it, but it doesn't light up, it doesn't spin around, it doesn't play music, or it just doesn't work anymore. And you bring it to an event where volunteers will do their best to fix it for free. Free is always in the budget.
That's what we try for. And one of the main things is just if you can bring it in the door, we will try to fix it up. Up at Hurleyville, where I also coordinate, our motto is busted stuff, fix it up.
Busted stuff, fix it up. That's real good. And what kind of things do you typically find people bring to be repaired at a repair cafe?
A lot of small electrical, a lot of lamps. That's the number one thing fixed at a U.S. repair cafe, and we've seen that. And also sort of like smaller appliances, a lot of toasters and sometimes coffee machines, those kinds of things. What are you seeing, Pete?
The interesting thing is that up in the Catskills, where we've been seeing a lot more of kind of practical hands-on stuff, lots and lots of pruners, loppers, scissors. Ever since we got our knife sharpening game on point, as it were, up in Hurleyville, last repair cafe, we saw 17 kitchen knives come in for sharpening.
Well,
that was nice. And I mean, what happened was at Hurleyville, we got a donation from WorkSharp Tools of sharpening equipment that allows us to quickly sharpen a kitchen knife with no issues and no real training involved. Normally, people will actually just throw out a knife that's gone dull nowadays. And the guys at WorkSharp Tools were like, we can't let this stand. You guys have a repair cafe. We have stuff you can use. Let's put these things together.
Yeah, and the repair cafes really appeal to people for several different reasons. One is that you've got your beloved heirlooms, maybe. And you just can't throw it away. You love it, but, you wish it wasn't broken. So maybe it can be fixed. But the other is the cost factor.
Yep.
There is no cost, except it would be really nice if you could make a donation, because there are expenses involved to the people that are running the repair cafes. But they're close to home, so you don't have to lug it very far. And it helps the environment. You're not throwing things away and cluttering up the... all over. You're not cluttering up the landfills and costing yourself
and buying
more.
A new one, right? All the resources involved in making and shipping you a new item as well. Yeah.
And on top of that, the other thing is that even when it comes to parts for things that are repairable, I've run into things where like somebody will bring me a laptop 1 month, then I'll diagnose what's wrong. I'll have them order, say, like the touchpad and the battery that needs to be replaced, and they come back the next month after it's been shipped to them, and I do the replacement for them. So even though, yes, the items have use for another month, they only need to pay for the cost of the part, and the labor's free.
That's a good point.
What we always say is we fix about 75 to 80% of things that walk in the door, but that doesn't include additional fixes that happen afterwards with parts or because we've taught someone to do it at home.
That's true. As the volunteers are fixing the items, the owner stands there and sometimes helps out and learns something. And sometimes it means that they can do it themselves if it goes wrong again.
In fact, this is why those who are volunteering to do the repairs at repair cafes are usually referred to as repair coaches, because of the fact that we're supposed to be, yes, doing the repair, but we're also supposed to be teaching the person who we're doing the repair for in most cases. And for that matter, I saw a sign on my way over here coming through Port Jervis today, and I just wanted to remind everybody, if you happen to have a soapbox derby racer and it gets broken, since our repair cafe is on that afternoon, you can bring it right on up. There's a plug.
Yeah, you think that
St. Peter's Lutheran Church, 1 to 4 p.m.
Yes, that's why we wanted to have you on today, because there are 2 repair cafes happening this weekend. And so one of them is, in Orange County. One of them is in Port Jervis. Susie, where's the other?
Okay, so tomorrow, on Saturday, there is one in Montgomery, which is hasn't happened for a while. So we're very happy that one is coming back. And I will check the time for that one, but I believe it is, I think it's going to be, let me see.
We need the location, too.
Yes.
It is, I can give you that. It is in the Walden Municipal Building, Bradley Room, which is at 1 Municipal Square in Walden.
Okay.
And it is, 10 to 1:30 on Saturday the 10th.
Okay. And then the week after that is Middletown's, and that's one where I'm a regular. I bring a sewing machine and sit there and go vroom, vroom, vroom all day.
Like a race car.
That one is at the Thrall Library, and it's 10 to 1. Yeah,
in the second floor community room. And I've been doing that for quite a while. You never know what people are going to bring to you. These are my favorite gardening shorts, and they're a rag.
Yep.
But they love them. And they just want you to fix them enough so that they won't get arrested if they step outside the door in these tattered things. And that's what you do for them. I fixed pocketbooks. A lot of straps fall off of a lot of bags. And last time in mammocating, my daughter and I helped out, and my daughter sewed an arm back on a beloved teddy bear.
Aw, that's great.
Yes. And that kind of thing is our pleasure to do. That's something we know how to do. We want to share it. And that's why we volunteer as coaches for the Repair Cafe.
Yeah. And another wonderful thing about that is that, as you said, your daughter's the one doing that. We're passing on repair skills to another generation as well, and just getting them out into the general population as well, because a lot of people look at things that are busted or that are broken or need to be repaired, and they just think, oh, it's just beyond me. I don't have the skills for that. I don't understand how that thing works. That's the 2 things you get out of a repair cafe. You both get to see somebody try to fix it for you and help, and then also they hopefully are going to be able to teach you what exactly went wrong in the first place. So now you, if you're running into the same situation again, can maybe fix the same item at home without having to come in.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think sometimes people just don't know where to bring something. And so the benefit of a repair cafe is not only can you bring a lamp, you can also bring a pair of jeans that needs a new button or a snap, or you can also, everything can go to one place. But some of the things are really hard to find repair people for. Like we do old electrical stuff. And I mean, an old coffee pot that someone just doesn't want to stop using, and like a percolator, and so those kinds of things that people just don't want to let go of because they're used to them, they like them, or because they have a real attachment to them. I'm a jewelry fixer as well as the coordinator. So when I travel around, I repair jewelry at all the cafes, and a lot of it is costume. So it's not valuable. It isn't worth what you would have to pay at a jeweler's, but it's really important to people. And it's been super gratifying for me to be involved with that piece. And part of they sit with you is you hear the story of the piece, and it's really moving.
Yes, that's true. Yes.
Another thing that's interesting about that is that we've also observed something with repair cafes. Initially, in the beginning of the repair cafe movement, there was a lot of hesitation from people who actually had repair shops in the areas around where repair cafes were being started. Thinking that it would be taken away from the business. It turns out it does the exact opposite. Because of the fact that you're bringing it into the forefront of people's minds, things can be fixed, things can be repaired. Oh, well, I've got to wait another month or however long until the next repair cafe. Right. Well, so-and-so down the road actually has a shop that'll fix that. And especially if the repair person volunteers at the repair cafe, there's nothing to prohibit them from handing out business cards for their repair shop as well, and they
That's-
actually see an uptick in business.
That's a very good
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
Yeah. It's about spreading the culture of repair, the thought
Exactly.
of, oh, this can be repaired. And also, a lot of things, it's beyond the purview of what can happen at a repair cafe to fix it. So it's wonderful. Even if someone doesn't volunteer with us, we often refer to local businesses for repair after the cafe is over.
Yes, that's true. You can't fix everything. But,
Right.
Pete,
No.
I understand you have a story about fixing a washing machine at a repair cafe. I mean, did someone bring one in?
So I didn't fix this at a repair cafe. That's the disclaimer. This is just telling you what kind of fixer I am, though, I guess.
Okay.
But my wife's favorite repair that I've done is of a washing machine we had when we were in graduate school up in Ithaca. And we had a surge in power at the local substation. And we get the repair guy to come out and take a look at it. And he's like, well, this board needs to be replaced. And it would be $200 for the board, and I think like $200 or $300 more for labor. And I'm like, can I take a look at that? Because my background's in electronics. I take the cover off. I see there's one little chip with like a divot in the top of it. I look it up online. I'm like, listen, do you mind if I just keep the board? He's like, yeah, no charge for the diagnosis. I look it up online, find the exact chip that I need to replace it with. It's 68 cents. I buy 10 of them because that's the only way I can justify the shipping. And I rework it with a soldering iron and a little solder sucker. And like 2 minutes worth of soldering work later, we have a working washing machine.
Oh, you're
So,
definitely a pro. You're definitely
board
somebody.
level repairs by
Yes.
Pete.
Yeah.
We're going to talk with them more. We're talking with Suzie Fromer and Pete Marchetto from various Hudson Valley repair cafes. We're going to hear more in just a moment on Wall. 822, 55 degrees at Wall Radio. My guest in the studio is Pete Marchetto. On the phone, Suzie Fromer from the repair cafes of the Hudson Valley, because there are so many. There are dozens. There are scores of repair cafes.
There are 45
And there's
across
one-
9 counties.
And there's one close to where you live, no matter what, where people want to come fix your broken stuff for free. And I'm happy to help do that, too. I bring my sewing machine to the repair cafe, at least the one in Middletown, and you never know what you're going to find.
We thank you for it, by the way.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
It's my pleasure. I had someone bring a dog bed. One of those big things, looks like a donut with a little cushion for the bottom of the
Yep.
donut, and it was in tatters. It was shredded. It was worse than those shorts that I was talking about, the gardening
God,
shorts. And I just couldn't see. It would have taken hours to fix every little rip. So I told them, take out the bottom cushion, put it inside a new cushion, like put it inside a pillowcase. It'd be like a slip cover, but it will smell right to the dog.
Yep.
Oh.
And then buy a new donut surround, and that's probably the best you can do. You can't really fix everything, but you can give a pretty good answer to what the people need each time. And
Yeah, I do some creative fixes as a jeweler, and it's so interesting. And people are so amenable because they just want their stuff back, and they're very just agreeable, and it's all about solution finding. And so that's a lot of the fun for the fixers. Is it's really stimulating for your mind.
yes, but there are repair cafes all over the place. Now, the first one I went to was in Warwick, which is a very hopping one. Man, that is thriving.
That is. That's every other month.
Yep. And they were so busy there that they had a lot of seamstresses. They didn't need me to help sew, so I played the piano for them or at them
that's
at the
fabulous.
piano, whatever. And it's such a nice coming together of the community. That's the whole point. But each repair cafe has its own kind of personality, don't you think, Pete?
Yeah, I mean, I've been to ones in Ridgewood, New Jersey, up in Kingston, over in Hurleyville a number of times since I organized that one. And the other interesting thing is recently a bunch of us, thanks to Suzie, were invited down to New York City to be on the Today Show and fix stuff on the plaza in Rockefeller Center. Mainly, a lot of that stuff wound up coming from NBC House staff at Rockefeller Center. And
very cool.
the interesting thing is, across all of the different repair cafes I've been to, including the impromptu one in New York City, the variation of what is brought in is really wide. I mean, Suzie can speak to the number of jewelry fixes that are going on downstate and along the lower Hudson Valley, down Westchester and such, whereas up in Hurleyville, we have had one jewelry repair, and it was across the five individual repair cafes we've done up there so far, once per month. And whereas up in Hurleyville, as I was mentioning before, like we get loppers and snippers and all sorts of garden tools and things like that. We get saws. We've had a couple of people ask about small engine repairs, which those we don't really do inside, but at Port Jervis, we're hoping to maybe do outside if...
bicycles, I see.
Yeah, bikes are going to be coming in too, especially this time of year. But it's interesting across the whole range of the repair cafes how much things differ, and it's all demographic, basically. I mean, downstate, you got a different bunch of things being fixed, but there's also some commonalities, like Suzie was saying, with lamps and with electronics and such. Those are across the board.
Yep, and toys.
Oh, God, yes, toys.
Actually, we've had a lot of toy repairs.
We had a really
I saw someone in Schenectady doing like an old doll, with the rubber bands inside had sort of fallen apart, like a really old one. Yeah. Really nice repair. Yeah.
We had one in Hurleyville just last time that we did a cafe up there, and this lady was thinking of coming in. I finally saw her at a store the day before, and I said, come on, get motivated, do it. And she brought in this bartending automaton toy that she'd had that was made in like the 1950s. The thing has 2 D-cell batteries in it. It lights up and then basically moves as if it's shaking a drink, pours it into a glass, drinks the drink, makes these gulping noises, and then turns beet red. The different light turns on inside of it.
I want one, just to put on my kitchen table.
Or here in the studio with you, right? You'd have a co-host. But this thing, we actually have a couple of videos of it up online on Instagram.
Let's talk about your website.
Yes, repaircafehv.org.
That's correct. And we're also on Instagram and Facebook at Repair Cafe Hudson Valley. Yeah.
Okay. And that's where people can find the Repair Cafe that is closest to them.
Yes.
Some are held
monthly. We have
monthly.
a calendar, yeah.
You'll see there's a little link on the top that says Our Repair Cafes, and that will show you all of the listing, and then on the events calendar, that will show you what's next.
And some are held monthly, some are quarterly. The one that I do in Middletown is 4 times a year, and that's it.
Right. And some are sort of pop-ups. Some are sort of, we're going to do one, we're going to see how it goes, because everything is volunteer run, and there are new organizers joining us all the time, and sometimes people want to, see how it goes. And so a lot of them are just, we're going to have one, and then we're going to have another one. So there isn't always a schedule, but we always have it on our calendar.
But there are 2 this weekend, one in Port Jervis, one in Montgomery, and then Middletown the week after, and people can see the whole list of them on your website, repaircafehv.org. And do you know we have burned through almost all of our time already together?
That's what we do.
Suzie, have you got any parting words, anything we didn't talk about yet that you wanted to mention?
No, I would say this. We're always looking for more volunteer fixers, and you don't have to be a professional. We all start somewhere. You don't have to be I'm a this, I'm a that. Anyone's welcome who likes to tinker, who likes to just have a good time. And it's really a nice social thing. It's a nice way to be back together, especially after pandemic. It's really been very heartwarming to see these little town squares pop up in every town. So come on down if you're just curious. We'd love to see you. We'd love to talk to you. And if you want to help out, we're happy to have you.
That's a very good point. The seamstresses, we all consult with each other, and we still learn from each other all the time. Yes. Pete, is there anything that you wanted to mention?
Main thing that I wanted to mention was, further on Suzie's point, you don't have to be a repair person to come down and volunteer either. We need people to run like the registration desk, or people who run for parts sometimes at various different points. You don't need to be handy with tools in order to help out at a repair cafe. We just need you to be there and be willing to ask, what can I do to help?
That's a very good point. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for what you
Thanks
do,
for having
because
us.
I enjoy my part in it, and I have to say, for anybody that maybe knows a little bit, try it out. I think you would find that Repair Cafe volunteering is, in fact, for you.
Definitely.
Thank you. Once again, the website, repaircafehv.org. Thank you for being our guests here at Wall Radio. It's 8:30 now. Time for a news update. We'll start with CBS.